Hello, Paul. This is Muffley here. Just busy communing with the trees on a Monday lunchtime. Just a big hello to everybody that listens to the Shy Life podcast.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Good luck, studio.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Paul Chandler, the Shy Yeti. He's not that shy.
Oh, it's the Shy Life podcast.
All I wanted was a pie, and then I hatched out of an egg.
Okay, bring the mic over. He's ready to record.
It's the quiet ones you've got to watch, you know.
Is it metaphorical? Is it deep? Is it deep?
Boy, he's not all that shy, is right.
Blimey, Governor, it's the Shy Life podcast.
Excellent.
Hello, campers. How are you?
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Shy Life podcast with me, Paul the Shy Yeti. How you doing? I'm all right, thanks. Now, this episode we've got somebody who you haven't heard from in a while, but we're going to catch up with them. And well, there's no point me delaying the introduction because it's probably mentioned in the title of this episode. But anyway, we've got Ryan here. You know, Ryan from Canada. How are you doing, Ryan?
Hello, I'm alive. I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right. Yeah, things are just as daft here as they've ever been. But I'll update you a little bit. But actually, listeners, the reason that Ryan's not been around is a very exciting one. He's been travelling, but I will. We'll talk about that. We'll run the theme music first, though, and when we come back, yes, we'll update you on what Ryan's been up to, and we'll update him on what we've been up to. All right, run that theme music.
Darling, it's the Shy Life podcast.
Yes, but it's a positive thing, Paul. Highlights the Shy Life.
You won't find a cast of characters like this everywhere.
Hello, Paul.
Don't want Paul now.
I'll go anywhere for a potato.
Delicious. This particular episode of the Shy Life is a little more abstract than usual.
Go Shy Yeti.
Oh, I hope he hasn't found out my secret. I think he has.
If you thought that was bad, just listen to this.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for it to begin.
It's the Shy Life podcast. So would you be psychic?
Yeah, I am strangely drawn to Yeti Uncle John's ankles as well.
But has the Shy Life podcast slowed down? I don't think so.
It's all gooey and meaty and yum, 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 yum.
So, there we are. We're back. So it's very good to see you again, Ryan. So you've been doing secondments, haven't you? We heard about this. Working in different comic shops on different planets. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. I've been all over the place.
Gosh, yeah. We heard about Saturn, Mercury, and Jupiter, I think. But I think you went to some other planets too. But
I think I was on Pluto as well.
Yeah. Gosh, you must tell us more about that. Well, actually, listeners, Ryan was just telling me that when he was working in these shops, he bumped into somebody. But we'll come to that in a moment. But we've got some quizzes and things for you, so you're very good at those. So, one of the things I should tell you about is that you remember we did that episode where we talked with Jay the Horn Cup, and Jay has a tarantula called Aragog. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that Aragog is a she, not a he. That's one thing we'd only just found out. But it also turns out that Aragog is very good at quizzes. So at some point, we may have to get Jay back and have Ryan versus Aragog. See which one of you can beat the other. But
That would be a first. I've never competed against a tarantula before.
Yeah, she is very, very. It's amazing the things that she knows. But anyway, yes. What's been happening here? So, Yeti Uncle John went to Shame Jail for about 6 months after all the awful things he'd been doing. He's out again now and has been for a little while. But I'm not sure he's learned his lesson exactly. But we now know that he gave you an envelope, didn't he, to look after? And well, when he came out of shame jail, I think he requested it back from you, and you had to send it from, I don't know, whichever planet you were on at the time. And more plans. He actually turned the situation around on the people that had been looking after, had put him in shame jail, and got them into trouble. So still not quite sure whether that was legitimate or whether that was one of Yeti Uncle John's sort of little pranks. But what else has been going on? We've had vampires in the area. Cromitty, I think you might have met Cromitty. He was going to a yoga class quite locally to us, and turned out that half of the people in the group were vampires. So we've been dealing with that.
It was definitely night yoga.
Well, I think the vampires around here a little bit have adapted slightly, which is more scary because it was sort of dusk, a lot of it, dusk, and also because it was autumn as well, it was quite. But you don't know how difficult it is to get a vampire hunter around here. You look in the yellow pages, and it's just not as easy as you'd think. But luckily, Yeti Uncle John's magpies I think have sort of chased them away. But the thing is, the way I think of it is that they're still out there. Just because we've moved them to a different area, we still have a responsibility to kind of sort them out more permanently, because we've moved them to somewhere else and they might be causing trouble with people who don't find it so easy to deal with them. I'm kind of used to vampires. I'm kind of used to, to a certain extent, our gang. We kind of know a little bit about what's going on. But the other thing that happened was that Bettina and August got married on Valentine's Day. They went to Vegas and it was all a secret, and they came back married. And they're sort of on an extended honeymoon they come back for a few weeks and they're gone again. But the good thing about it is my flat's a little bit more empty, because now August is living with Bettina in her house rather than down in my laboratory. But in Cromitty's laboratory. Yeah, well, there's been loads of other things. It's not quiet. It's not been quiet. But I think before we go any further, we should do a quiz. I think we're going to start you off with a quiz about Canada, if it works. So, do you know the answer to this question? When did Canada gain its independence? Was it September the 16th, 1810, July the 1st, 1867, December the 10th, 1898, or August the 15th, 1947? So 1810, 1867, 1898, or 1947?
1867.
That says yes. Correct answer. In the 19th century, the future provinces of Canada began to realise that they needed a united government for the region to prosper. They particularly needed a common defence and a national railroad system to strengthen the region as it grew. So, well done. Next question. Who was the first Prime Minister of Canada? Was it Robert Borden, John Macdonald, Lester Pearson, or Joe Clark?
Do I remember?
Borden, Macdonald, Pearson, or Clark? I think I can give you a hint if you need a hint, but I'm not sure how obvious the hint's going to be.
First Prime Minister was Macdonald?
Mm-hmm. So,
I believe.
Oh, yes, you're all right. Right. John Macdonald.
I remember my Canadian history.
Well done. I'm not sure whether we've done quizzes on Canada, but But this is a completely new quiz, so I don't think we've done. These don't ring familiar to me. But I almost thought, with the names of the prime ministers like that, it reminded me of some of the superhero quizzes we've done, where what's the real identity of really obscure superhero. John Macdonald served 19 years as the Prime Minister of Canada. He had an initial run from 1867. That's not right. It says until 1973. That means he was 100. I think it must have been 1873. And then it says he was re-elected in 1978. I think that must be 1878. Serving until 1891. Yes, otherwise there's a lot of time travel going on there. So,
our first Prime Minister was a Time Lord.
He was the Prime Minister for 100-something years, and then he was re-elected in 1978 and went back in time and served until 1891. But clever man. See, you've got real talented people in your country, unlike ours. But what's the final line of the English version of "O Canada"? Is it "O Canada, we stand on guard for thee"? "O Canada, we are here to live and grow. Oh, Canada, we love our country so. Or, oh, Canada, our time is now to grow. It's two that are quite similar there.
And now I have to sing "Oh Canada" in my head because I can't remember.
You sing it to yourself, and we'll just we'll edit it out.
Should we stand on guard for the?
Stand on guard for the. It is right. Gosh, are you sure you're not Aragog in disguise, or vice versa? There are two versions of "Oh Canada," one written in English and one in French. The lyrics for the English version were written by Robert Stanley Weir, a lyricist from Montreal. There you go. Not sure how many
Actually, there's another version of "Oh Canada" now. They just updated the lyrics to change one of the lines.
Oh, right, yeah. What's the only country larger than Canada in terms of land? Is it China, India, United States, or Russia?
I'm going to go with Russia, I think. I think it's Russia.
It is Russia. Though Canada is the second largest country, it has the largest coastline of any nation in the world. The coastline stretches over 150,000 miles. 100, yeah. I'm just making sure I read that right. An explorer from which European country named Canada? Britain, Spain, Portugal, or France?
What was the question again?
An explorer from which European country named Canada? Britain, Spain, Portugal, or France?
Oh, I have no idea.
Do you want a hint? I can give you a hint because we haven't tried doing a hint. It says they speak French. Oh, so that's basically Britain or... Hey? It says Britain. That means it must be Britain or France. I mean, we can speak French, but not something we generally do.
Well, it was Jacques Cartier that named Canada. I just don't remember where he's from.
Well, it seems to have deleted two of the options, so I guess we go with France because
I guess it makes sense. It's a French name.
Yeah, it's right. I don't know why it cut it down to two and kept Britain, because we only speak French. I'm sure they can speak French in Portugal and Spain as well if they wanted to. I mean, what a strange hint.
Do you know what Canada means?
I do not. I don't think it tells us here, unless that's one of the other questions coming up. But,
so just to randomly insert information into here, the most likely way he came to the name Canada is from the Iroquois word Kanata, which means village or settlement. So Canada literally just means village.
It's a very big village.
Yeah.
I grew up in a village. It didn't look like Canada. It says that Canada was named by Jacques Cartier, 16th century French explorer. Cartier famously mapped the Gulf of St. Lawrence and the St. Lawrence River. Okie dokie. Well, I think that we'll keep some more of these for the end of the episode. And we have other quizzes. I think that Itty Uncle John wants a word, so we'll just play a little bit of music, and I'll leave you two to it for a moment or two, and then I think after that we might even put some Sutton Park clips in because to give us a little a break before we hear a bit more about your adventures. Right, I'll let you speak to Itty Uncle John. Hello, Ryan. It's me. Just wanted a quick word. Just wanted to thank you. I just wanted to thank you for looking after that that envelope I gave you because it all came good and I got my own back. So, but I just didn't want to give it to anybody who was involved with the show on a daily basis because there was a little bit of misunderstanding and people weren't always on my side. But I know you're always on my side, Ryan. But, yeah, so I just wanted to thank you. That's all, and I'll buy you a plate or something, or whatever you want. I'll take you out for a meal. I don't mind. It's you deserve some sort of recompense, I think.
Well, I appreciate it, but do I ever get to find out what's in the envelope? It kind of had a weird smell to it.
Well, that was the photographic paper that I used. It was all a bit homemade, but no, it was photos of the shame inspectors, who they're known for doing lots of cryptic crosswords, and I had some photos of them, which put them in a bad light, let's say, with cheating and things like that, possibly. But I mean, some people said that maybe I'd used Photoshop, but I couldn't possibly comment. The evidence speaks for itself, and they are currently doing a sentence in shame jail themselves. It's no more than what they deserve. Yes, it did smell a bit, but that was the paper was a bit. It's one of my things. I was trying to make when I was doing the comics and stuff. I had some paper left over, and well, you might remember that the comics smelled a bit weird as well. But, anyway, thank you very much. Anyway, I think Paul wants me to introduce a Sutton Park clip, but we've got no details, so it'll just be a Sutton Park clip from the 1990s. So Paul will edit it in at this point, I think. And, I think he wants to speak to you again. I'll speak to you later. Oh dear, oh dear.
Well, viewers, hello. Well, more by luck than judgment, I have found my way back to Lickey Hills. It's not really the best time to do so. I didn't want to come now, what with Kerry being missing and Horner having those strange visualisations of him being shot. But the modern mummy turned up and, as you know, told me that the Hook Man, the man who killed those people, needs my help. Apparently, the only way he can stop killing is if he is exorcised. And the only way to exorcise him is to take him, reunite him with some of the scenes of his murders, so he can face what he did. The mummy has to be here too. I'm supposed to be meeting him. The mummy's going to introduce me to the Hook Man. I don't know what's happened about this. I really don't understand the whole situation. It's all very confusing. I don't like it one bit. But I've agreed. I was told to come by myself, which was risky. But it seems that the Hook Man wants to rest, and can only rest if I help.
Paul, you are here. I must explain. You must do what I say, or Hookman will kill again. I will tell you a story of why he like he is. You must listen. Listen carefully.
Well, I've heard the story the mummy has told me. A very sad story. And as I did think at one point from the research, as I suppose I should have realised, it is linked with Sutton Park. Now, the man with the hook, I've forgotten his name again. Anyway, some 150 years ago, back in the middle of the 19th century, he and his family were out on the lake. They travelled, they lived in this area, around Rednall. This is where we are now. And at that time, to travel all the way to Sutton Coldfield was quite a holiday, quite a long journey. They travelled there and went on a boating trip, around one of the ponds. And that's where the problems began. It was once they were in Sutton Park that they went on an ill-fated boating trip around one of the lakes. The modern mummy informed me that I think it's Bracebridge Pool, I'm not sure. One of those pools in the park. Anyway, although the day that they had gone to the park, the Hook Man and his family were on the lake when a storm blew up. Now the storm got very fierce, and so did the water, and unfortunately the boat overturned. The Hook Man, I wish I could remember his name, the family drowned. The Hook Man was the only one to survive. His wife and 2 children, aged 3 and 6, they all died. It was about this time that the Hook Man returned to his own. Soon after, he returned to his own home place, and strange things began to happen. Very strange things. What I haven't mentioned so far is that in the boating disaster in Sutton Park, the Hook Man lost his hand. He caught it under water, something in the rocks, and he damaged his hand anyway, and it was replaced with a hook. Anyway, as I said, he returned to the area of Rednall, and his remaining relatives, noticed a change in his personality. He was distant and acted strangely. It was one day summer of 1873 that the young girl was murdered up here. The relatives instantly suspected him. The hookman had become mindless by this time, although he'd go into fits, and then the other day he'd be fine. But even his relatives suspected that he was the source of the killing. He had done the killing up on Licky Hills. So soon after they moved away from Licky Hills, they moved away from Rednall. They moved to Shrewsbury, which is where I've got to go now. They moved to Shrewsbury, and that's when more murders happened. Hello. So now we're in Shrewsbury, where the story continues. As I said, after that murder in Licky Hills, around Rednall, the hookman, I've got to check his name up and get it properly out so I can refer to him properly, I'm sorry. Horner's got it written down somewhere. Anyway, soon after that mysterious death, the family moved to Shrewsbury. They didn't last very long. The hookman's mental state deteriorated. He ended up killing his parents, who were then quite old. He also killed his nephew and an uncle, an aunt and a cousin. He then disappeared and wasn't seen for another 20 years, so there's various other murders that could have happened around the area, which leads us to the murders in George Road by our lake. The deaths continued. However, things were not simply normal. The hookman, as well as being driven insane by the death of his wife in the park, the hookman's appearance, let's just say basically the waters of Sutton Park gave him an extended life period, made him as good as a mortal. The waters of Sutton Park had basically preserved the hookman's appearance, so not only was he theoretically mad, practically mad, he was also not getting older. Yes.
Get back together again, Master. Back together. Good. Big push. Big push. Now stop them. Hold them back. They've had an upset. Keep pushing. Together.
I apologise for that little interruption. Anyway, so Shrewsbury was the next scene of the crime, as it were. Back to Birmingham. Of course, it was at the lakes in George Road where the worst things happened. The hook man was now independent. It was now near the early 20th century. Things were happening. Murderous things. The hook man had learned to suppress his insanity by this point. However, he had not been able to suppress his urge to kill. He had become aware of his extended life period given to him by Sutton Park. He found that by killing, he could rest. He would be satisfied for a period of 5 years, maybe 10. But then he would need to do it again and again. And he just wasn't getting any older. And so we get back to here, where the various deaths occurred by the ponds, by the lake, over the next few years. The hookman, Mr. Cypher, I've found the name. He lived in his house when it was when the two houses were smashed together into one originally, and the story is up to date with the various killings. The latest one being 1990. Obviously, various other killings during that time and over the past 100 or so years have been attributed to Mr. Cypher, the hookman. Whether or not he did them or not is unsure. All I am sure of is that the modern mummy says that we've got to return to Sutton Park with Mr. Cypher. He needs to relive that day when his wife drowned. I have got to witness it. I've got to feel what he felt. Apparently, that's the only way that he can rest. By sharing his pain, and he's chosen me. I don't know why. I don't know why he's chosen me. But he has. So I must go. If the Hookman does not rest, he'll simply kill again. We can't have that. I've never killed someone before who actually wanted to be killed. Usually when we kill people, evil people, it's because they're evil and we have to kill them. Otherwise we die ourselves. I've never actually killed someone who's asked to be killed. We must go to the park, relive the events of those days, and then when he is weakest, we must kill him. It should work. So the Magdalene mummy says, should work out that then, once he has relived those events, he'll be weak and he will die and not return. He'll rest in peace. Horno is going to do the killing. I couldn't do it. I am there as a spirit, a medium, because my mind is particularly open to Sutton Park. At least that's what I've been told. It's all rather confusing, Paul. But from what you told me, it'll need a powerful weapon. And this little device is the most powerful thing we have. I'm not keen on using it, but in the circumstances, there's still no sign of Kerry. And I'm still having those flashbacks about him being killed and shot with this gun. So even though we have no proof that it happened or will happen or what, it is the only device we have which will be strong enough to give the Hookman his well-deserved death. It's time to finish off unfinished business. And so, in Sutton Park, the exorcism is about to begin. Well, we're near the lake where the drowning happened. Any minute I'm going to be reliving what happened. I shall see what the Hookman saw. Paul, are you ready to relive the past? Yes, one I am. Have you got the weapon? Yes, Paul. He's here. He's waiting for you. It's time, Paul. Time. I'm ready.
Ryan, I hope you think Uncle John didn't say anything outrageous, or I hope he was well behaved.
Nothing too outrageous, though I did just learn that I was apparently accessory to blackmail.
Oh, well, there you go. Shy Life podcast. It's not many podcasts where you find yourself an accessory to blackmail, but it actually pushes us up the Apple Podcast list. But, it's one of those things that's highly regarded. Anyway, we'll have another word in a minute because Yeti Uncle John comes up in conversation, in a conversation we're going to have in a moment. But I think we ought to do another quiz. Now I've got what have I got? I've got the hardest Batman quiz you'll ever do. Are you up for that? Do you think?
Oh, this is actually going to be hard because I don't particularly like Batman. So I don't know a ton, but I'm ready.
I was clicking on. I think it's probably because there's this new film out. There were lots of people getting cross. I think Amazon Prime had put a picture up of all of the different Batmans and said which is your favourite, but they hadn't included Adam West, and lots of people were like kind of really cross about it. So I thought I'd add to the I'd add to it. And I'd like all the as many posts as I could that people my age, we like Adam West. I mean even though it was old when I was a kid, but we still think of Batman as it's best when it's being very silly, not when it's being ultra serious. But there we go.
I liked Ben Affleck as Batman, but apparently that's not a good opinion these days.
Oh dear. So let's see. Looking to test your knowledge of Gotham City's most famous caped crusader, then take this fiendishly difficult superhero quiz. This is from the Beano, the which is a kids magazine. So maybe it's only difficult for kids, or maybe it isn't. We'll see. In the Dark Knight, where in Asia does Batman visit? Is it Beijing, Hong Kong, Seoul, or Tashkent? Probably not how you pronounce that.
The Dark Knight?
Apparently.
I'm going to say Beijing, but I'm not 100% sure of that.
Okay. Oh, I guess we have to do the 10 questions and it'll tell us at the end. Which of these is a nickname for the Batmobile? The Tickler, the Chuckler, the Tumbler, or the Grumbler?
The Tumbler.
What bird was the Penguin's car shaped like in Batman Returns? A pigeon, a coot, a peacock, or a duck?
It was a duck, I believe. I've watched those movies.
Yeah. Which Batman villain got their very own movie first? The Joker, the Penguin, Catwoman, or Harley Quinn?
Catwoman.
What's the Penguin's real name? Oswald Cobblepot, Alfred Pennyworth, Bruce Wayne, or Pengy McPengerton? I think if I could get that one.
I kind of want it to be Pengy McPengerton. Oswald Cobblepot.
Yes, the one I would have gone for, only because the other ones were ludicrous. Which Star Wars character was also the voice of Batman in a few of the cartoon series? Rey, it says R-E-Y, Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca, or Mace Windu?
Did he do Batman? I know he did the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Luke Skywalker, but I can't 100% remember if he did that. He was the voice of Joker for as long as I can remember. He's the voice of Joker.
What was Mr. Freeze originally called in the comics? Mr. Cold, Mr. Chili, Mr. Frozy, or Mr. Zero?
Oh, I was just looking at his first appearance the other day. I think it's Mr. Cold.
Mr. Cold. Okay.
In the comic fans somewhere really angry.
In the comics, Robin is particularly good at what? Speaking languages, baking cakes, running really fast, or dressing smartly?
Which Robin?
Exactly, yes. In the comics, it says, but there's loads in the comics as well.
There's like 5 Robins.
Yeah. I guess you have to go for the earliest one because it's
What were the answers again?
Speaking languages, baking cakes, running really fast, or dressing smartly.
Let's go with speaking languages.
Seems like the most obvious. In the Dark Knight, Batman's voice is really what? Squeaky, gravelly, lilting, or slurpy?
Terrible. That's what it is. It's terrible. Gravelly.
Yeah. The last question. Who is Batman's smartest enemy? The Riddler, the Joker, the Penguin, Mr. Freeze? Sure, they don't say.
Brainiac. I mean, almost all of those are scientists in some way, shape, or form, but I'm going to assume they want the Riddler. So Mr. Freeze is like a cryogenics professor. But he's also pretty smart.
Should we go for Riddler, though?
Yeah, let's go with the Riddler.
Okay. Ooh, you have got 8 out of 10. It says, great work, you're a Batman expert. This was a tricky quiz.
It doesn't tell us
Yes, it does. It does tell us the answers. So it was Hong Kong that Batman went to in The Dark Knight, which that was a difficult one. It was the Tumbler, the car. It was the duck, the other car. It was Catwoman who had a movie. It was Oswald Cobblepot. It was Luke Skywalker. Apparently, it wasn't Mr. Cold. It was Mr. Zero. Mr. Freeze, his original name. Robin is good at speaking languages, and the Dark Knight did have a gravelly voice, and the Riddler is considered the most smartest enemy. I think the ones that certainly that one about the Asia was kind of a little bit weird.
Hello again, listeners, it's me, Cuthbert the Robot. Before we move on to the next section of the show, we have some more new music for you from our good friend Muffley on tour. His latest track is called Cosmos, and we think you're going to enjoy it. Thank you, Muffly, for allowing us to debut your new music on the Shy Life podcast. Listeners, have a listen to the new tunes now, and afterwards we will return to Paul and Ryan.
Now, I wanted to tell the listeners, just relating a conversation that you and I had earlier, about when you were, working on the different planets. So you were saying how much you enjoyed and how different it was working on the different planets and how different each of the stores were. But you bumped into somebody, didn't you, on 3 of the planets? And I just wanted to share with the listeners what had occurred. But so the person was Yeti Uncle John, of course, and he was selling. He was trying to sell his comics that he's still got so many of. But I think the first planet you bumped into him was on Jupiter. I think it went something like this. Oh, yes, I really like coming into comic shops in Jupiter. It's very nice of Ike to lend me his little shuttlecraft. And there's the gentleman at the desk. I'll see if I can get rid of some of these comics. Good afternoon, fine sir. My name is Yeti Uncle John. I just wanted to introduce myself. I thought I might be able to push some business your way.
What can I do for you, Yeti Uncle John?
Oh, goodness. Ryan, what are you doing here? I didn't expect to see you on Jupiter. I thought you worked in Canada.
I can't say I ever expect to see you anywhere, but I keep running into you. I'm just traveling from shop to shop, experiencing different things across different planets, seeing how it looks as I go. What can I do for you?
Well, see, I've been in shame jail for a while, and now I'm out, and I've trying to get rid of some of them comics, and I just wondered if I didn't expect to see you. I thought I might better convince somebody that you wouldn't be interested. I don't suppose it's probably too much to expect. I've got some lovely She-Hulk in a lovely peach colour. And I mean, everybody's very peach, but the She-Hulk is excessively peachy. I mean, just the actual colour she is. Would you be interested?
I feel like She-Hulk and Peach just looks like Big Barda.
Oh well.
Random thought. I don't know if I'd be interested. She-Hulk isn't really She-Hulk if she's not, green or gray. She was gray too.
Well, it's lovely bumping into you, but I suppose I've got to try some other shops. Well, you're a credit to your boss. I saw him as I came in. He has 3 heads. It's probably quite useful when it comes to shoplifting. If you've got a boss with 3 heads, keep an eye out around the shop, can't they?
Get an eye on every corner of the building.
Yeah, I hope he's treating you well. I'll better be going. It's good to see you again. I'm sure we'll catch up soon. And so, yes, Ryan, that was the first time you bumped into him on Jupiter. But the second time you saw him, when you were working on Mercury, he turned up in disguise, and he was dressed like Batman, but not the Batman that we would think of, because his suit was his suit was sort of polka dot. But anyway, I think it went a bit like this from what you told me. Hello, I am the Dark Knight. I was just wondering if you might be interested in me doing appearances at your shop, good sir. Good sir.
And just what Dark Knight are you?
I'm the polka dot Dark Knight. It's you probably don't know this, but on Earth we're a bit further ahead in the series of Batman. And Batman's trying. He's given up being like a crime fighter, and he's decided to be a children's entertainer. And this is the costume that I am wearing. And I'll be happy to provide you with similar suits to sell, but I'm also happy to sign, because I am the actor who plays him in the film. Yes.
Well, I've heard of Batman being in like all the colors of the rainbow, but polka dots is new. Can you tell me exactly what issue he wears this polka dot?
Well, this is in a movie, a little scene movie, because it's very new. But obviously there will be comics coming out soon too. Yes, it's Batman, the children's entertainer, the dark children's entertainer. Well, polka dot children's entertainer. Yes.
Is it part of the Batman Scooby-Doo crossover?
Yes, if you want it to be, yes, it is. Yes. So this mask is so hot. I'm gonna have to take it off. Look, sorry, Ryan, it's me again, Yeti Uncle John. Why are you working in every single shop I walk into? I just try to get rid of this suit. I asked for them to be properly made, and they turned up like all covered in polka dots, and I can't get rid of them.
Maybe next time you should order them from DC Comics instead of some random back alley.
Maybe I just thought that perhaps the people of Mercury wouldn't be so. I didn't expect to see you here. I thought that I might be able to convince them about this new sort of film.
They have the internet here as well, so I don't know how far you would have gotten.
I'm sorry. I feel ashamed. But not that ashamed. I think I might go and see you. You're not going to work on Venus this week, are you? I'll go and have a look. Might go there.
Not that I'm aware of, but I guess we'll see. I think I'm just fated to run into you at every store that I work at.
Oh, well, if we're drawn together like things that are drawn together, yes. Oh, I better go. Nice seeing you, Ryan. Nice seeing you.
Nice to see you, too. Good luck, Yachty, Uncle John.
Thank you, yes. So, yeah. What was he up to? He doesn't change. I mean, you'd think, having just come out of Shame Jail, that he'd be a bit more careful. But then you met him a third time on Saturn, and that wasn't much better from what you were telling me. But this time he was dressed as I'm not sure what he was dressed as, but anyway. So let's have a listen and see what happened. Rawr, rawr. I am the Beastling. Yes, I'm the Beastling. Yes. Hello, Mr. Comic book salesman, shopman. I am the Beastling. I am the actual Beastling, the real Beastling that the film The Beastling was based on. I'm looking for a job. Yes.
Hi, Yeti, Uncle John.
Oh, Ryan, can't believe you're here. Can't believe you're here. I just thought that, I was just going from the aspect that, all of these the creatures and things in superhero movies, some of them are actually real, and they have to pay their way and pay bills, and when they're not making films, they still have to get a job. But I mean, it worked for about 2 days on Uranus, but that's only because I said I was the Invisible Man, and then I didn't show up after that. How's it going?
It's going well. I'm still enjoying my visit from shop to shop. I see that we are continued to be fated to run into each other. I apologize.
No, it's all right. I'm giving up after this. I'm going back to Earth. I can't leave Ig for long. I don't know if you knew, but Ig he had a baby around the same time as I was let out of Shame Jail. Except that. The baby Ig is kind of like Ig, but with a villainous moustache and an obsession for horror movies, and we're a little bit unnerved by him. But anyway, I don't like leaving Ig for too long. But, oh dear. Anyway, I'm next time you're back on Earth, do let us know, and we'll have to all meet up. It'll be lovely. Yes.
It will be. It has been ages since I've seen all of you.
Yeah, we miss you. Oh dear. Right, I better go. Oh, dear. I haven't got much petrol. I hope I can get back to Earth. I don't want to be stranded, do I? Oh dear. So, I'm glad it was only the 3 times you bumped into him. I mean, I don't even know when he nipped off and did this. It must have been between episodes or something. He managed to do it without us finding out until now, anyway. But
he really gets around very quickly.
Like the Beach Boys, he gets around. Anyway, we're going to have another quiz in a moment. But I think before we do, we'll play another Sutton Park clip, and this is. From the 1990s, bizarrely, but there you go. Right, let's have a listen.
Quick!
Shoot him now! Horner! Quick! It won't work! Paul, it won't work! Quick, Horner! Quick! Fire, damn you! At last.
Horner? He's gone. Horner, is it over? Is he gone? Did you kill him? Is he at peace?
Yes, Paul, I think he may be. I think we've done it.
That's it then. The end of the story. No more killing. We did it, viewers. I really can't believe it. It was so vivid. I just kept seeing the drowning. The hook man. When the boat sank and that there was so much panic and fear and everyone was drowning. It was awful. It was really awful, but at least he can rest in peace now and not kill anymore. He's truly gone. Truly at peace.
I felt it too, Paul. I felt it too. Let's hope he is at peace. We must return at some point to those Licky Hills, to where he came from. If he is laid at peace, we should be able to feel it. The other spirits, the ones that he killed at the lake and up at Licky and at the various other places, their spirits now too, they should rest. We should better sense that.
Then that's something we must do then. We'll do that. But right now I just want to go home and forget about the whole thing. Come on, Horner, let's go home. Viewers, hello. Things have moved on a bit since I last saw you in the park. I've recovered from that awful business. Some good news, hopefully. Got back last night, found a message under the door from Kerry. I'm supposed to be meeting him about 5 minutes' time out by the lake. Obviously some developments in events. At least that should stop Horner worrying as well. Right, I better go.
At last, fucking freezing out here now. I've been waiting for ages. Well, at least you made it, I suppose.
I'm sorry. What have you been doing then?
Well, after all that fucking shit up at Nottingham, it's not safe around here. I've had to go into hiding. I've been living out of a suitcase anywhere I could fucking doss, just to get away from this place. It's fucking dangerous coming back here. We're gonna have to meet somewhere else, not just here.
Have you been getting on with any sort of, research?
I think I'm developing some form of relationship with this bloke in the police force. He's going to get me inside that base up there. He's not happy about this. He feels like he's being needled out of the local force around here, and it's all because of that the centre of power up here has shifted because of that fucking booth, and he's going to try and get me in and see if we can sort something out up there, and I'll get some more information because of that.
It's not safe. Horner may be able to help you with stuff, but I can't actually. I'm not going to be able to help you for the next couple of weeks. I've got to get back to Salisbury.
Good. I don't want you around here fucking hindering me anymore. And it's not safe for you up in it here at the moment. It's not safe for you. So it's good that you're out the way.
Well, I will be coming back in April next month.
Well, I mean, by that time events might have got to a stage where I might need some help then.
Well, don't leave us out of it. I mean, we're fighting our own battle here. We've got to stick together and keep our forces.
I know, but there's times when you need to work on your own and there's times when you need support.
Okay, well, shall we better...
Yeah, it's time to go. Right.
Okay.
I'll contact you again in a couple of weeks when you're back.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hiya. Forgive my bedraggled look. It's early morning. Yes. As I think you may have heard yesterday, it's nearly Easter holidays, so more than a few days here, then we'll be going back. Got to sort a few things out, like who's going to stay here. Arnold's up there, and yeah, Arnold is he's going to stay here, but I haven't worked out who else he's going to stay. Ben will probably stay too. Anyway, we're very glad that Kevy's all right. Hopefully it should stop some of Horner's nightmares, because they've been getting pretty nasty. Horner, you're quite pleased, aren't you? Horner?
Oh yes, very, very pleased. Yes, very, very pleased. Yes, I was quite worried about Kerry. I did think that something nasty might have happened to him, but it looks like nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about at all. Yes, very good. Nothing to worry about at all.
Is there Clive? Clive?
It's 10:17 a.m.
Exactly.
It's 10:17 a.m.
Yes.
It's 10:17 a.m.
Okay, let's shut up.
Oh yes, busily poising geese in the park. My plans have not worked out quite as well as I hoped. The plants, the seeds, have not yet grown. I shall have to do my best at killing Paul over the Easter holiday, and if I fail, by the time he returns, the plants will be sucking all the oxygen out of the room and kill him. Well, I hope they will anyway. That dratted bomb attempt by that Gavin and George did not work. Somebody's got to get rid of him. It may as well be me.
Oh well, Horner. We'll be back soon.
Yes. Back soon. For one last, final attempt at destroying the evil of the park. We haven't got long, Paul. We'll do our best. We've really got to do our best before time runs out.
And we're back. Right. I've got a quiz for you, which is, well, we can kind of choose to a certain extent the subject, but we're using the site that we've used before, and sometimes when you pick a subject, it's not quite what you think it's going to be. Like, well, when I've done like history quizzes with people, and you've got like the history of ballet, which is not what we were thinking. But what can I give you? You can choose. Do you want art, astronomy, biology, commerce, entertainment, fashion, film, food and drink, football, games, geography, general knowledge, history, literature, mathematics, blimey, medicine, music, nature, Olympics, politics, religion, science, sport, television, theatre, or words? All of those.
Let's go with dealer's choice. Whatever you feel is most interesting. I'll probably be equally bad at most of them. What have we done? We've done art before. Art we've done.
What about films? I'm trying to think, because at least with films, most films are kind of shown everywhere, whereas TV programs can be a bit linked to, can be quite different what we have over here compared to what we have over there. So,
well, let's do films then.
Yeah,
films are good. Films. I like films.
Let's do films, and I'll say any difficulty. So you might get an easy one, you might get a hard one. What I might do is give you the answer immediately rather than, well, no, obviously you have to give me the answer that I can confirm it rather than waiting to the end. But let's do 15 questions. Okay, question 1. Who starred as Lieutenant Danny Roman in the 1998 film The Negotiator?
Was Samuel L. Jackson?
Yes, Samuel L. Jackson. Well done. Question 2. Sir Ector, Sir Kay, and Archimedes the Owl are all characters in which Disney film?
Archimedes, that's was it Sword in the Stone?
Yep, the Sword in the Stone is right. I'm sure it's Aragog. You are Aragog. Either he is you, or you is he, or she is. Oh, anyway.
That are sitting beside me here, feeding me.
Giving the answers. Yeah. Question 3? What part of Woody is ripped off in Toy Story 2, forcing Andy to leave him behind? His foot, his arm, his leg, his head.
His arm, isn't it?
That's right.
It's so long since I've watched that movie.
Yep. Question 4. Who played Heinrich Himmler in the 1976 film The Eagle Has Landed?
Oh, I won't know. You got me there.
The answer is Donald Pleasance. If it had been almost any other, I don't even know he was in that. I know a lot of Donald Pleasance films, mainly the horror ones, but no, I didn't know he was in The Eagle Has Landed. Okay, question 5. The Spectre organization first featured in which James Bond film?
Thunderball, isn't it? Thunderball 1961?
According to this, it's Dr. No, which actually I think you got the year. That is more like the right year, but not the right name, not the right film. Question 6. Which 1975 film features the character Frankenfurter?
I wonder what this could be.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not Rocky Horror Picture Show.
It definitely is. Question 7. Who played Lieutenant Colonel Nicholson in the 1957 film The Bridge on the River Kwai?
I've never seen that. That I won't know.
The answer is Alec Guinness. Question 8. Who played the title role in the 1980 film American Gigolo?
Richard Gere?
Yep. What is the name of Woody's owner in Toy Story? Stephen, David, Bruce, or Andy?
They only told us, 3 questions ago? It was Andy.
Yes, they did, didn't they? Question 10. Who played Margot Channing in the 1950 film All About Eve? That's a very long time ago.
Betty Davis?
That's right, yep. What is the subtitle of the 1984 film Star Trek 3?
Oh, I just watched this. Star Trek 3 is Search for Spock.
Yep. Question 12. Who played Dudley Moore's butler in the 1981 film Arthur?
Oh, I don't remember that one.
John Gielgud. Who directed and starred in the 1968 film The Green Berets?
The director is John Wayne.
Yep.
So John Wayne.
Yep. Question 14. On which fictional planet was Superman born?
Krypton.
And the last question. When You Wish Upon a Star is an Oscar-winning song from which animated movie? Pinocchio, Aladdin, Little Mermaid, or The Lion King?
Pinocchio, wasn't it?
Yeah, Pinocchio. That's right. You got 11 out of 15. That's pretty good. Some of those ones I wouldn't have known either. That's good. Now, I guess we're coming a little bit towards the end of the show, but as I say, it's been very nice catching up. And so you're based back in Canada for now, or do you think you'll be going up? Or do you think you've got the taste for travel and working in comic book shops in space is something you'd like to do again? Absolutely. Anytime I get to travel, I will 100% take it. Especially since the city that I live in is currently buried under like 1.5 meters of snow. Well, I like to think that coming on the Charlotte podcast is what gave you that little sort of, at least an experience of space, which may have led to you enjoying doing what you've been doing recently. So. Mm-hmm. But look, before we go, I want to finish with a bit more Canadian quizzes at the end. But I think that that Uncle John wants to have just one more word before. So I'll let him come and say hello before we have to say goodbye. But, I'll just put a little bit of music on. Then when we've done that, he'll be here. Ryan, just wanted to have a quick word before we had to say goodbye. When you go to space next time, is there any chance you could email me your sort of work plan, your sort of schedule, so I know which planets to avoid? Because it's quite difficult to having you as somebody working at the shop. It's difficult for me because you're too clever, and I'm, keep me in touch, won't you? Let me know what's going on.
I don't. I'm sorry, Yeti John, but I don't have a plan to really give you. I usually find out 24 hours beforehand what shop I'm going to next.
Oh, well, you can always text me. I can always change course. But anyway, what I really wanted to ask you, I just wanted. Can I ask you another favour? Just one more favour. It won't involve blackmail. Not that you were actually. You were just looking after something for me. I promise you, I'm going to ask you for something that won't compromise you at all. Please do me a favour.
As long as it's not something that I can go to jail for.
Oh, no, you can't. No. But anyway, just come over here. I don't want the listeners to hear, so it's a bit sensitive. But anyway. Well, Cromitty, I'm glad you showed up because it's nearly the end of the episode, and I think Ryan would probably like to say hello. Oh yes, absolutely. I'm sorry I missed him. I didn't realise he was coming today. Yes, well, Yeti Uncle John has been, getting in the way, and we've been telling the listeners about how Ryan and Yeti Uncle John kept bumping into each other in space. Yes, I know. I didn't even realise he'd gone to space. I guess he and Ik had an arrangement, I believe so. Oh, here he comes. Ryan, everything okay?
Yes, everything is perfectly fine. What's up?
No, I'm just hoping that Yeti Uncle John wasn't getting you involved in anything too mischievous. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for joining us, and it's been lovely catching up with you. And we'll have to do this again soon, and maybe we'll get Jay back and get Aragog here as well, and see which of you you could even be on the same team. We could probably do another quiz league with. It could be you and Aragog and Cromitty and Yeti Uncle John. I don't think that's fair. Maybe it should be Aragog and Yeti Uncle John and me and Ryan. I don't know. Well, I don't think
that could do Jay and Aragog, and I could do me with Charlie, the living room chicken that I've got here beside me.
Oh,
he says that he's good at quizzes, but I don't really believe him. He has very questionable eyes.
Yes. It makes a good point, Cromitty. Probably does need to be human and creature. And you're not. Well, you are human, but anyway, I know what you mean, Paul. Yes, you're probably right. Anyway, listeners, that's what we've got time for. So we will be doing a few more questions at the after the end theme. But well, thanks again, Ryan, and thanks to the listeners for listening. And we'll be back again soon. Okay, bye for now.
Bye.
Goodbye. Right, Ryan, I think we're just going to do some more Canada questions. Which of these hockey players is from Canada? Alexander Ovechkin.
Ovechkin.
Yeah. Wayne Gretzky, Vyacheslav Fetisov, or Igor Larionov.
Ovechkin is the one name that I know, so I'm going to go with Ovechkin.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, it's not. It's Wayne Gretzky. Known as the Great One, Wayne Gretzky is regarded as the greatest hockey player of all time. Playing in the NHL for 20 seasons, Gretzky holds numerous records, including most career goals and assists.
Canada? I guess so.
Where's the wrestler Bret Hart from? Calgary, Ottawa, Toronto, or Winnipeg?
Bret Hart. He's not from Winnipeg. Bret Hart is from. I'm gonna go with Calgary, probably.
Okay. You're right. Bret Hart spent most of his professional wrestling career competing in the WWE. He led the promotion after former stars like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage went elsewhere. According to folklore, what is the name of the lake monster that lives in Okanagan Lake? Loch Ness Monster, Loch Ness Monster, Leviathan, Ogopogo, or Morag?
Ogopogo.
Correct answer. The legend of Ogopogo comes from the First Nations people of Canada. The story goes that a murderer was cursed by the gods and cast into the lake to live as a lake demon for eternity. Just do a couple more. The first female to climb Mount Everest was from Canada. What's her name? Hazel Findlay, Shauna Coxey, Sharon Wood, or Angela Iter?
This one I don't know the answer to.
Give you a hint and see if that helps. Her last name comes from a tree. That's more than a hint. There's only one. Findlay, Coxey, Iter, or Wood? I think you have to guess it's Sharon Wood. Oh, and it is. Yeah. Sharon Wood, that's more than a hint. That's the answer. Sharon Wood decided to share her experience as a climber after taking the journey up Mount Everest. Today, she is a motivational speaker who speaks on subjects of leadership and courage. Last question. What is unique about the restaurant in CN Tower? The aquarium, a glass floor, the dinner theatre, or the train?
It's CN Tower? I don't know. I've never been to CN Tower. This is information that even I'm going to find interesting.
I can give you a hint, but it may just say something with wheels. we
the train.
I don't know. It says you can see. Oh, you can see through it. I think that must be the glass floor. I guess you can see through the aquarium. It's either the aquarium or the glass floor. Which one do you want to go for?
Glass floor.
It's the one that I obviously thought yes. Opening in 1976, the CN Tower was the tallest building in the world for over 3 decades. Located in Toronto, the building stands 1,815 feet tall.
Well, we have a revolving restaurant here, which is neat.
Oh, that's lots better as well. I hear. Much better, much better. Do you think they might send me something if I promote them? So, they might send you something. Oh dear, oh dear.
I gotta go now. Bye. Gotta go. Bye.
Goodbye, 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 goodbye.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network. Find more shows over at pride48.com.
What's going on now? Oh, it's the Shy Life Podcast. Let's go.
I have a voice. I have a voice.
You have a voice.
You have a voice. We have a voice.
We have a voice.
Unique voices in podcasting.
UnivazPods.net.
Well, Ryan, it's very, very nice of you to come back on the show. I do apologize for getting Uncle John. He gets quite out of hand sometimes.
I'm getting pretty used to it. You don't need to apologize.
Well, I gather that he turned up in space, so, in space no one can hear you scream. It seems appropriate when Yetianko John shows up, but oh dear. Do you have any nice plans for the rest of your weekend?
Nothing particularly exciting. As I was mentioning earlier, my city is kind of buried in snow, so there's not a ton that I can do. Though it's getting warmer today. It's only -4 today, as opposed to the -35 that it's been for the last few months. It's practically livable outside.
You can go swimming. It'd be beautiful.
Go to the beach.
Go to the beach, sunbathe.
Work on my tan.
Yes. I think that is that sounds like a good plan. I think. Excuse me if I don't join you though. So, oh dear. Anyway, I better let you go. I hope you don't get too cold. We don't want icicles hanging from your nose.
I will try my hardest. It was nice to see you, Cromedy.
It's fine, thank you. Very good to see you too. Cromedy, there you are. Ryan, are you getting beamed back? Is it going to beam you back up back to your home? Is that?
I think that was the plan, but I haven't heard from him in a little bit, so I know he's stuck here waiting for a little while.
No, he'll be along in a minute, but I hope you don't meet his son.
I hear he's a handful.
Yeah, he's called Ark, and yeah, he's very into Stephen King, very into Stephen King. Yeah, he looks very much like Ick, but with a sort of villainous moustache. But it's fine. He's not a bad lad really, but we're just getting used to him. That's all. Yes. It's difficult, We were expecting a cute baby, and instead we got Uck. But there you go. Oh, I think I can see it coming now, so we better not talk about it. Okay, right. Yeah, I think we better go. Anyway, thanks again, Ryan. Anyway, thanks again.
Anytime.
Yeah, see you again soon. Goodbye.
And then there's the episode where Paul laid an egg. Yeah, he did. But there was a dragon in it. Anyways. No, I think that was a wonderful episode.
If that slime ball alien Ick lays a slimy tentacle on me, I'm gonna have a fit. That's right. Yeah.
522.
Now that one was funny.
522. 522. Oh my God, is this show over with yet?